gentlemen, welcome to another Walking with J.Beau. An almost daily walking vlog. I'm gonna walk down a little side street I've not walked down yet with you guys, for the only reason of the route I'm doing today. I usually come up a quarter mile short of my 5 miles, so this should make up for it, I hope. So anyway, that being said, hope everybody's having a beautiful day today. Seeing a lot of Trump derangement syndrome online, on the internet, as well as off the internet. Seeing it on TV. The reality is setting in that they couldn't lock up Donald Trump, and they couldn't keep him out. They couldn't keep him down. And really, the only reason why Trump is doing so well is because the Democrats are that bad. If they had just done their job and not done stupid things with policies, with far left extremist nonsense, they'd probably have a lot more support. I've seen a bunch of black people online saying this is the first time they're going to vote for Trump. And it's because they're upset about things that the Democrats do, like when they were telling black people, like basically what they're saying is if you don't vote for Democrats, you ain't really black. Like black people are owned by Democrats, I guess. And they do that with all minorities. They did that with Hispanics, and the Hispanics have turned on them too. That ain't gonna work anymore. People can't afford to eat, pay their rent. It ain't gonna work. So, Kamala Harris did do her interview with Brett Bart on Fox News. She did better than she has in the past, but she didn't do good. So, instead of a 1 out of 10, she got a 2 out of 10. So it was interesting to watch her interview. I watched it in its entirety. Because as I've stated in the past, one of the things you can do to ensure that you're making the right vote is to listen to the candidates. And I don't mean filtered candidates. I don't mean a clip that somebody made out of context on the internet and you watch a 30-second clip. I'm talking about watching what they said, listening, without any interference, just using your own. And you've heard me say that before. It's the same thing I was saying about when you have, you know, like I don't like Hillary Clinton because I listened to her speak. And then you cross that with her behavior, what she's done or tried to do. The other interesting thing, now you hear me talk about this guy, Frank Luntz, often. That's because he kind of plays the middle. That's part of his bread and butter, being impartial. So he picks on everybody. And a lot of times I don't agree with what he says when he picks on other people. And that person just went through a red light right there in front of us. So, what I'm getting at is, he was talking about the Google search. You do a Google search and you come up with all these search results for the interview with Kamala Harris with Brett Barr. Just about every single one of the search results mentions the word testy. So that's the talking point word for today. And a lot of people are like, how come the media does that? They all do everything, they say the same thing in tandem. Well, they all get their information from the AP, the Newswire, and they're too lazy to make their own headlines. And also, that's the talking point that the Democrat newsletter states that they get. So in other words, the Democratic Party wants everybody to use the word testy. It was a testy interview. And what does that do? Well, it makes Fox News look like they were being unfair to her. And they beat her up and ganged up on her. So, realizing she didn't have a good interview, they're trying to remedy that. They're trying to remedy that by telling you that they were unfair to her. That's why she wasn't any good. So this is a coordinated propaganda by the media and Democrats that they always do. So we got the Maine Guitar Works here. You got signs up. So, don't know exactly what Maine Guitar Works does. I'll have to look that up. Do they make guitars? I think they do. Or do they do repairs, or both? So anyway, yesterday on my walk, I was chilly. I needed gloves and I didn't have them. So today I brought my gloves. Now it's too warm to wear them, and in fact I'm probably going to have to take off my hoodie, which I'm not going to do because I don't have my cargo pants with all the pockets. So I'm stuck wearing my hoodie and it's too warm to wear it. So that's how that goes, folks. It's in the mid to upper 50s today, but it feels like a warmer 50s than yesterday. Because there's a little bit more humidity in the air. And tomorrow is going to be 60, 62. Saturday is going to be 70 almost. And it's going to be 71 Monday. So we're going to warm up for a couple days, unseasonably so. I got no complaints about that. And the reason why I was thrown off is this morning we had frost all over everything. So something happened today, and now I'm going to sweat to death over it. Now I could take my hoodie off, it's a pullover, and then I would take off my long sleeve that I have under here, which I have a t-shirt over that. So I would have to strip half naked somewhere. To do that, I don't really feel like doing that. Then I'd have to tie the shirt around my waist. So anyway, so the election is heating up in Trump's favor, which is nice. And we're not going to have any more debates. Kamala is trying to get her message out there. Basically, through that entire video with Brett Baer, she didn't really have any good answers. and she'd change the subject as soon as she was uncomfortable or agitated by doing the yeah but Trump trick. Yeah but Trump. Yeah but Trump. Yeah, but it's the yeah buts. So we'll see if there's anything new on this route with regard to election signs, Halloween decor, etc. Some here. They had stuff out last year too. So it seems to me like Kamala likes to have everything handed to her without working for it. That's what it looks like to me. So she was handed the vice presidency, it's going to turn out to be probably the biggest mistake Biden has made in office, besides Afghanistan and reversing Trump's policies on the wall and the other stupid BS that he did. Son of a bitch signed 30 executive orders in his first 3 days, as reported by CNN. Everything from energy policy to climate change to other things that they've screwed up by doing that. They basically wanted to reverse everything Trump did, with a poor understanding of what those things did. So now the biggest problem I've seen for the Harris campaign, one of the biggest, is you get all these black people that live in these neighborhoods and they're having a difficult time finding employment because these illegals got deposited in their towns and they're taking the jobs illegally because they're illegals and they're not happy about it. So start screwing around with people's incomes, all of a sudden they start thinking about who they should be voting for. Now you get into the territory of, well, a lot of stuff Trump says I don't like, but I used to be able to eat and pay my rent when he was president, and I want that again. So you're going to see a lot of that. You're seeing it now from what I've seen. So we are on our walk today, and it's another example of somebody selling a vehicle. For sale, 2019, 93,000 miles. They want $16,000 for it. Makes you wonder if they really want to sell that, because pending something being wrong with it, doing a home sale like that off the front of their house for 16 grand, it sounds to me like somebody needs money. I don't think this is for sale. So anyway, these are just the things that I notice on the walks. Usually when somebody is selling a vehicle like that, that's in great condition for a price that's less than what it should be selling for, they need some quick money because they're in financial trouble. And I was talking about that yesterday, about the looming crisis I was reading about. 3 different news outlets I found articles for. The mortgage crisis that's coming, credit card debt, and other issues that are coming up for people in this tough economy that the media says is a great economy. So that's the truth of that. People are doing that. They're trying to pay their bills. If you're behind on your mortgage and you own a vehicle, well, you know, you may consider selling your vehicle. Then once it sells, take that money and buy a cheaper car and use the leftover money to pay your bills. So there's a lot of that going on. We went through something like that in the early 2000s because of the housing crisis. You know, got rid of a boat, snowmobile, things like that, and you know, you have no control over that stuff. And I think that's why people are going to vote for Trump. You got a Trump Vance sign over there. It wasn't there before, next to that mailbox. So that's our first new Trump sign on this route. Let's see what else we see. So I am going to flip the camera around. Hi everybody. Got the sun in my face, I'm going to be squinty, which is part of the reason why I don't like the selfie. I look like a Duh. There we go. So anyway, hope everybody's having a beautiful day today. And so Trump did 2 town halls yesterday. Snuck 2 of those in there. I didn't. They haven't aired yet, I don't believe. I had the understanding that they were going to air, and I think they didn't air because Brett Baer had the Kamala interview, which aired first. So I think we're going to see the the Hispanic one. Trump did a town hall with Hispanics, and he also did one with women. So I guess the one with women went over pretty well. I haven't seen it yet. Don't know when it's going to air. It might air tonight. They might save it for the weekend. Don't know. But anyway, just letting you know about it. So, polling averages. Did something kind of interesting. I took how far they were off in 2020. I was telling you a little bit about that yesterday, where Biden was ahead by 7 points in Minnesota. And Wisconsin. And he ended up winning Wisconsin by less than 1%. So that's how far off they were on some of the state polls last time in the battlegrounds. And I suspect they're doing the same thing again, which puts Trump in a really good spot, because basically you can take 3 to 5 points and add it to the 1.2 or 1.5%, or in a couple of states, the 2% that he's ahead, according to the polling. So, since the polling was off last year, last election, probably off again. And if they're not off again, he's still in a good position. So, I guess that's the other point I want to make. So if you take, like, just say 5 points and add 5 points to Trump's total everywhere, it's a wipeout. She's done. Even if you do that with just 3 points. Arguably, even with 2 points, it's a blowout and it's over. So, now if the polling is not in his favor, and they're not favoring Kamala, which is highly unlikely, okay, then Trump might be in trouble. But that's not the case. And the other thing is that the amount of states that Kamala has to win, it's really basic math. She has to sweep all of the blue wall states. And currently, as of today, even with the polling that I still say is inaccurate, they have Trump leading Pennsylvania, they have Trump leading Michigan, and Trump is leading in Wisconsin. So, and that's according to NBC. So that's going to be tough for Kamala to overcome. Pending an act of God, Trump should win. The way it looks right now. And today's the 17th. So, you know, we're running out of October here. So on the 17th, I could swear this lawn here had Trump signs on it before. Now it doesn't. Maybe it's up ahead. Anyway, on the 17th, which is today, we have 14 more days left of the month, and then 5 days after that to the election. So that's 19 days left. Think about that. 19 more days. Wow. So it's getting down to crunch time. Trump is peaking at the right time, I guess is my point. Pending an act of God, or some kind of true October surprise, which I think the October surprise, to be honest with you, was Hurricane Helene. And Kamala blew a great chance. In fact, I know she did. So, you know what? On this whole stretch right here, I am not seeing very many election signs that were up before, and that includes Kamala's. So, don't know what's going on with that. I don't think this area is HOA. That's weird. Anyway, 19 days, folks. We're going to see something historic. Something historic. And the Democrats are panicking. I have seen a couple of these shows with pundits on it. They look very worried. I saw Morning Joe pleading with men to vote for Kamala. And Kamala has the female vote, which I still don't understand, but c'est la vie. Hi.
Hi.
So, she has the female vote. I don't know how much of it she has. I don't know how many of the females or parents are fed up with the Democrat schools controlling their children. And you got Trump saying, I'm going to end it. I'm going to end that, he said. This is parents' chance to take their children back. All right, well, we got the Trump signs here. I was on the wrong lawn. So that's good. I'm going to flip this around. So, Austin, Ontario is doing good for Republican Congress. I think what really hurt Jared Golden was he supported Biden's border policy, which was a mistake, and he also supported gun control in Maine, wanting to take the assault rifles and semi-automatic rifles, and that just ain't gonna fly with Mainers. You heard me say it on these walks. As soon as he said that, he just made sure he didn't get elected. And he only did that because he got money from the Soros Family Foundation. And that was one of the agreements to that. And that is the downside of being in Congress if you're not rich. You have to raise money all the time. You have dues to pay every year to the party. I believe it's $1 million a year. So you have to fundraise for your party all the time. Or else your party doesn't give you the endorsement and they let you get primaried. So as much as they try, they end up getting owned by the Democratic Party. And the Republican Party does a lot of the similar things. I don't want to make them sound like saints either. But that's what they do. And that's why we keep getting Susan Collins. She raises money. She's an established name, and she has a lot of people that donate to the Republican Party. And as long as she does that, the Republicans are not going to get rid of her. Even if she's not good for the country. That's just the way it is. Unfortunately. That's why Angus King is going to win his election as well. Even though I'd like to see Demi Souzas. I'd like to see her win. She's been really good for the Republican Party. But I think she'll get about 32% of the vote. And if she does really good, like I think Republicans are going to do, she might get 38. But she's still not going to have enough to knock off Angus King. So, as always on these walks, I'm always a realist. Really didn't think that Austin, Ontario had a chance against Jared Golden. But after Jared Golden's poor debate performances, Austin, Ontario was really good. And as soon as Austin Terrio got endorsed by Trump, he really shot up. And you have to understand how Maine District 2 is. Congressional District 2, CD2. You'll see it listed as ME2 and CD2. They're both accurate. So, Trump won an electoral college vote from ME2 twice. Should win it again. His endorsement, hopefully, will get Austin Terrio in the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. for the Republicans. That would be nice. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gents. I'll be interested to see what's going on in your states. I also like that Robinson, running for governor of North Carolina, filed a lawsuit against CNN for defamation. But more importantly, his lawyer dug up a long ago written rule. It's an FEC regulation, Federal Election Committee, saying that in tandem with the FCC, that a media company cannot go out of their way to ruin a candidate's campaign, which is laughable these days. But Robinson's filing a lawsuit against CNN for just that. And there is a statute on the books. Robinson maintains that everything CNN said about him wasn't true. About the porn chat room with a trans person, and comments that Robinson made about the Nazis and KKK. And they're so desperate, they're trying to make a black guy say that he was supporting the Nazi Party and the KKK. So they're going to get sued. That person was speeding. So he's got the lawsuit filed. CNN hasn't been talking about Robinson lately, which may be the main purpose for him doing that. But nobody else has really been talking about him. And the only reason why they went after him and were talking about him is because Trump was talking about him as being a really good guy, which he is. So, I hope the people in North Carolina elect Robinson. He was down in the polls a little bit before this news story broke, and maybe it'll actually put him up, because people don't like it when they bully somebody like they're doing to Trump. They went after Trump and bullied him, and he went up in the polls. So same thing might happen for Robinson, that's running for governor of North Carolina. So there you have it. So anyways, well, right now it looks like a lot of these leaves have passed their peak since the last time we came through here. I think you may agree. I should probably make it a point to get a last good walk in looking at leaves somewhere tomorrow or Saturday. because I think they don't have long. So anyway, I'm going to keep my head on a swivel through here. You can see we got some windstorm damage already. We did have some wind. A few days ago. Raised some hell for a lot of people. We had range day in the wind last week. That's always a tough one. And a lot of branches there. So something else not having to do with politics, has to do with firearms, is that ammo that NATO just adopted, I guess it's official now. NATO, who had been using 9mm parabellum rounds, or AKA Luger, has been using NATO certifications for the 9mm for many, many years. Apparently, as we look at this piece of wood here, beat to death by woodpeckers. All kinds of holes in there. Woody woodpeckers been by. So anyway, the ammo has been replaced. NATO has gone with 5.7 by 28. It's kind of a newer round, and the idea, principle of it is it has a pretty devastating impact, and the hollow points work very well because of the velocity of the bullet, and they are lighter in weight for NATO soldiers to carry, which was the premise behind 5.56 when they adopted that from the 308 they were using. So that's what they have done. And that's very interesting because I guess it's a pretty good handgun round, and it was developed by FN. They make them for their handguns in that caliber, and I guess other companies are going to be making that too, I suppose. And they're going to try to do what people have tried to do for a long time, which is to outdo 9mm Luger that's been around arguably since either 1906, 1910, or 1916. The reason why I say that is nobody is exactly sure what year the Luger 9mm round, parabellum round, was introduced. You'll find one source that says 1910, another one that says 1917, and I think there's another one that says 1906. Regardless, it's been around for a long time. It's been very popular. So, is this going to be the one that replaces it? The 308, I believe, was developed in the 1950s for NATO, post-World War II. They replaced the 30-06 round, I believe. Like, for example, the M14 used in towards the end of Korea, actually in the beginning of Vietnam as well, before they went to the M16 was in .308 and 30-06. It was available in 2 calibers. So a bunch of stupid people driving today. I'm going to be extra careful on this route. That's why I don't walk this route very often. Today is not a good day to die. So anyway, we'll see if that round gains momentum, since NATO is adopting it, I guess, from what I read. So what is that going to do to the 9mm for the civilian market? Probably nothing. It's the most common handgun round, one of the most common in the world. It's the most common in the United States. It's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So will it cause the prices to go up? No, it should cause them to go down, because a lot of the 9mm is being sent to places like Israel, Ukraine, on the battlefronts. Now, our military is going to switch to the NATO round. I'm guessing they will. So that should make 9mm very cheap, even cheaper than it is now. You can find it $11.99 a box, cheap Target stuff. Would not surprise me if the economy picks up after Trump is in office, things start banging on all cylinders. Would not surprise me to see $6 a box 9mm. Now, I know that's a bold statement, but with NATO picking up a new caliber, they're going to have to replace all their firearms that shoot 9mm, and which they will. And there's going to be an oversupply of 9mm, because remember, it's supply and demand. So if NATO and militaries are no longer going to buy 9mm, there will be a huge surplus for a little while till it gets bought up. But that may be a good time for people to buy a whole bunch ahead, store it up in case of an emergency of some sort. So just things I think about when I'm on my walks. I was reading about that, and that is something that looks like it's happening. So it's 5.7 by 28 handgun round. They look like the shells, actually, in case the bullets with the casings, are about the same length as the 22 WMR, and they will cycle in a semi-automatic handgun. And I really believe it's an alternative to a 223 style or 5.56 rifle ammunition. So that will be interesting. Right now, I believe the ammunition's $40 a box for 5.7 by 28 for FN handguns. So people are going to stick with the 9mm until they can't buy it, and basically 9mm is not going anywhere anytime soon. Just like you could still buy 40, you know, 40 Smith & Wesson. So this is another arms manufacturer who came up with a different round. And the only reason why the 40 Smith & Wesson did anything is because law enforcement took it. The FBI and law enforcement across the country took it as an upgrade from 9mm, which that's arguable. A good 9mm hollow point will put people down, and a good 40 hollow point will as well. So 40 is somewhere in between 45 and 9mm. And there you go. That is what we're going to have. So consider that food for thought today. A little chipmunk. No, don't come back. Freaking little chipmunk there. I wasn't sure if he was going to dart back across the street in front of that car. So we got a Trump flag over here. Trump 2024, which we've seen out here before. A lot of traffic today. There's a bus. I'm going to scoot over here. This old guy here puts a pylon in his driveway so people don't use it to turn around. I actually like that idea. People sometimes turn around in our driveway, and the problem with our driveway is they turn all the way into the driveway thinking they can circle around in the parking area out back. Usually they can't figure out how to do that. That's what I don't like about it. Looks like I survived the unsafest part of this walk. just hit the 3-mile mark. Let's see what this sign says here. A+ roofing sign got knocked over. I'm going to cut across over here. Excuse me. Coming up on rush hour. So this is not an easy street to cross during rush hour, but we will do so. Excusez-moi. So I want to cross here, but I'm going to go further on up ahead because I will get an opening by default in between red lights. Actually, I got a spot right here. Now we cut across over here. These trees are not as vibrant as they were last year. Mr. Clement running for state representative. I got one of his signs on my lawn. Small town, you get to see the people you're voting for on your walks. There he goes, Mr. Clement. Now we'll finish out the walk. Got a couple more miles to do, or less. That's weird. That's weird how smell triggers memory. A woman there is cleaning her car. She's using some kind of rug shampoo in it. And I remember cleaning carpets when I was about 14 years old for St. Mary's Hospital, using a machine where the stuff we used smelled just like that. And I thought of that instantly as soon as I smelled it. So this is one of those late blooming trees over here. This one changed early, but it also has a lot of the leaves missing that it had. And then over here, this one is in the middle of turning. So that's a nice looking tree, I guess. And we got this one over here, it's got colors in it. So some of the trees have passed their peak and some of them are just coming up on it. So that's the way it goes. So anyway, I don't have the sun in my face anymore, so this is better. So hello again. Hope you're enjoying the walk today. And yeah, so that's going to be really weird if 9mm turns into what the 40 is now, but I don't see that happening for a long time to come. Millions of firearms have been sold in 9mm. There'll always be a market for it. And I think the new caliber NATO's using is going to be a little pricey for a while. So there we have that. And you know, some calibers it's just hard to tell. Technically 30-30 should have gone obsolete. And the reason why I say that is most of the companies that made rifles for them stopped making them until recently, and the ones that did were in financial trouble. Like when Remington was making the Marlin ones, Marlin went bankrupt, Remington Marlin went bankrupt. Ruger seems to be doing a good job. Ruger is a much bigger company firearms wise, so they're not making a whole crap ton of these lever action rifles, which is why they're kind of pricey. But supply and demand, and 30-30s, you can still buy them. The price has gone up to $25-27 a box instead of 21 or 22. But a lot of that might have to do with Biden, the Biden-Harris economy. So you know, I just thought it was a bad idea when the Democrats were putting Kamala Harris out there, because you know, you're basically, she's an incumbent. She's coming out of the White House that's there, that people are unhappy with. You get 79% of the country thinks it's going in the wrong direction. So that's Mr. Clement across the street. He's talking with people, getting their opinions, trying to get their vote. I've already voted for him. So what I wanted to see was down over here. They still have the Kennedy sign on the lawn here. So yeah. So I'd like to see them and ask them who they're voting for. But Bobby, it says on the sign, Bobby said to vote for Trump. So I think a lot of these people that were supporting Kennedy are going to vote for Trump. Just because make America healthy again, it's something really important to RFK, and I think people like RFK. I like RFK. I don't like a couple of his policies. I'd be leery of voting for him for president, but if they had succeeded in keeping Trump off the ballot, and they were going to install Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is somebody I would not vote for. I would seriously consider voting for RFK over Nikki Haley. That's just me. He might not agree with me. I don't know. Nikki Haley's a rhino. She's part of the problem. She should never be president. Just like somebody like Susan Collins should never be president. For the same reason, if she was a true blue, non-establishment, for the people person, I would say yes, but she's not. So, and Lisa Murkowski isn't either in Alaska. These people are career politicians, and you know, idiots in Arizona, or was it Nevada? I forget now. I don't even remember. Jeff Flake, remember him? Senator Flake. He was probably the first senator that Trump ended, and he did not get any Republican support, and he ended up dropping out. So, anyway, well, we got a chicken on the lawn here against the building, and we have a skull with two hands coming out of the ground. That's pretty cool. So anyway, you know, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about today. I mean, that happens when you walk every day. I mean, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but there may be people that don't watch this every time I upload a walk either, so. I do know that Kamala is in trouble, and she was the most unpopular vice president we've ever had, according to polling, when Biden was the candidate. So now that Biden wasn't the candidate, the polls all of a sudden, you know, she is, according to the polling, she's in this race having really done nothing. She's done nothing. She doesn't want to go out and campaign. She doesn't want to do these interviews. She doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to earn the presidency. And she was appointed the candidate. She didn't have to do any campaigning for it. She's just been rewarded. So it's a joke. She should not be where she is right now. And I think the American people are going to do the right thing, because that still matters in this country. And yes, I've heard a lot about cheating. I've heard, you know, this, that, and they're not going to be able to cheat that much to win in several states. You know, Trump just needs to win one battleground state. That's it. Just one. Now, they're still considering Georgia and North Carolina a battleground state. I don't know why. So, Nevada, who cares about that? 4 electoral college votes. And that would be a nice thing to put on the mantle for Donald Trump, but he doesn't need it to win. Kamala needs it more. So that's where we are, really. If Trump wins North Carolina and Georgia like he should, and he wins Arizona like he should, then he just needs to win one of Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, or Minnesota. Just one. That's it. That'll give him 271 or 272, no matter how you slice it. And if Trump wins Pennsylvania, Kamala needs Pennsylvania. And that's it. She's done. She's got no other path. Right now, the only path she has is winning Pennsylvania, and she's not winning there currently. So, just to put that in perspective for you, okay? It's good to remind yourself of this stuff every time you see a ridiculous news broadcast talking about Trump this, Trump that, this people hate Trump. The only demographic that Kamala is doing very well in is women. The only one, and that's because of abortion and Trump. So that's what Trump needs to whittle away at, which is why he's doing a female. That's why he did the female town hall, which we've yet to see yet, but it was recorded already. Maybe by the time this uploads, you'll see it anyway. So I'm gonna head down this way. We'll be wrapping up this walk shortly. Within a mile, I think. So we'll head on down the road. Somebody's got a nice sounding car. Yeah. Because it's a Mustang. That's American dream right there. Americana. I drive a Mustang. I love my Mustang. It's pretty cool when you drive a Mustang sometimes, because you'll come up to a stop sign and you'll see a 10-year-old little boy walking with his mom, or an 8-year-old, and he'll turn around and, look, mommy, look, a Mustang. He's all excited about it. And that kid's probably going to grow up, hopefully, be able to buy a Mustang. So, I'm moseying on up this way. Not a cloud in the sky today. Look at that. Not a whiff. Not a whiff. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is Trump was speaking yesterday. Busy guy. He was all over the place yesterday. And the media was making fun of him because he had a difficult time saying the word rebuttal. So he said refutable, and then he goes, whatever that word is, and now the media is making fun of him. He's dementia. He's not fit for office. They're trying every little thing to get anybody to not vote for him that they've tried already, like hundreds of times. You know, might as well keep going back to the same well, right? And so, you know, like the other night he did that town hall. There were 2 medical emergencies, and Trump ended the town hall and was on stage listening to music instead. So these politicians that are Democrats said he's losing his mind, literally. Look at him. Why is he doing this? They didn't watch his rally, of course. And social media was doing that. And I will give the media credit. They waited till the next day. But they came out and said that there were 2 medical emergencies at the Trump rally, and he just felt it was better to end it. And they played music instead because people waited in line for hours to get in. And it would be really disappointing. Some of them, this was the first time they ever saw Trump in person. And, but, you know, this woman, I still haven't found out if she died, but it looked like they were doing CPR on her. They didn't show it on camera, but Trump kept saying, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's not good. That's bad. So obviously it was something like that. And, so I don't know if that person made it or not. I haven't heard anything. But at least the media the next day actually printed that to make MSNBC look stupid, because of course MSNBC went on the air and said, why is he doing this? Who would vote for this? He's got dementia. After all the crap we saw with Joe Biden, they try to pull that stuff, and they just think people are going to look at it and say, oh, okay, I guess so. Anyway, coming up towards the end of the walk, and you know, these media companies are just a bucket of crap. They're the worst they've ever been. At this point, they are harming democracy in this republic and the democratic way we do things. They're a problem. I saw a film clip yesterday of this woman going by in a four-wheel drive, and somebody was across the street with a Trump flag. She started screaming out her window, giving them the finger, and saying, you're gonna vote for Trump, who gave our COVID machines to Putin. She goes, fuck you, starts giving the finger. And then the person with the flag goes, fuck you, you fucking asshole, really loud. She goes, what'd you call me? She starts screaming out her window, banging on her car, almost getting in an accident. It's like, and that was in Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania. So, I mean, that's the typical reply you get from these people. It's always violence and anger, always. Violence and anger. And the media triggers that with the racism shtick and Putin's puppet, and, you know, that's why they tried to sell the insurrection thing. So these people believe everything they were told, and didn't bother to go research themselves. Like the J6 committee omitting all of the stuff that was exculpatory that helped Trump. The J6 committee just deleted it, edited the video, edited his speech where he said to go peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. They edited that off his speech when they aired that on TV. They've been completely dishonest, and I don't know why they're shocked that Kamala is probably not going to win this race, because the people have seen through the bullshit, enough of them. And there's some comeuppance coming for the Democrats. They're going to lose. They may even lose the House with Congress. And right now it looks like they're definitely going to lose the Senate. So how would that be from Americans to give these Democrats and the DNC an ultimate fuck you for appointing a candidate with not a single vote, installed, anointed, completely un-American? It's never happened before. Hopefully it never happens again. And that's why I want them to get beat so badly that they realize, you know, you are not the gods in this country. You do not control everybody, and you're not going to. Not in this country. Not without problems. I'm not going to get into that talk, but you know what I'm saying. So anyways, we are going to walk on here. Now we'll wrap this up after these people go by. Hello.
Eleanor. She's very friendly.
I know, I could tell.
Sorry.
I walk several miles a week, and I get to learn which ones are mean and which ones aren't. I get used to it.
Have a nice night.
You too. So, I could tell that dog was a good one. You can usually tell by the tail. When you see a happy tail, the dog's it's okay. They just want to come up to you and get a sniff. When their tail is kind of like down and they're getting in that crouch, those are the ones that are kind of So anyway, I wanted to wait till they passed before I wrap this up. I want to thank you very much for walking with me today. Click like and subscribe. Share the content. Share your thoughts and ideas on the election. I'm really interested in that stuff. I really am. I don't care if you type out a big book for a comment. You know, I'll read the whole thing. I always do. So Anyway, thank you very much, and we will see you on the next walk, folks. God bless you and your family. Remember to vote, drag people to vote, and we'll see you on the next walk. Bye-bye.